It's over. We've been cancelled. Another season in the bag, and the last episode has arrived. Our ratings are low, our stocks are rock bottom, and our beer bellies are in the basement. I guess it'll make that loft conversion a lot easier. Welcome to the season 3 finale of the Lager Logs Points of View with Thomas Stew. I'm Tommy Stew. Say hello, Stew.
Hello.
That's right.
Welcome to the end.
That's right, it is the end. Sad news. We're getting axed again. The last time I was dropped this hard, it was on my head in the park when I was a toddler. Cheers for the intermittent amnesia, Dad. Wait, what are we doing?
Focus. Beer.
Stew, where, talking about to me now, where are the last 2 months gone, dude? You know, time flies when you're having withdrawal symptoms. How are you, dude? You okay?
I'm getting there. I'm still buggered with this cold,
That sucks,
but
man. That sucks.
we're near the finish line.
We are. We've got one more to do. Obviously, it's such a chore to do this show. We hate it. We just can't wait for it to be finished.
Drink beer with your friends.
It's the worst. But we're going to try and grin and bear it for one last time. This episode, we do have a very special one indeed, as we'll be burning in Helles once more with a couple of sinful Scottish selections to make Satan squeal. Yes, Edinburgh Beer Factory's Paolozzi Lager. I will be doing that for every time I say that. Cold Town Beer's Cold Pride Beer will be facing off tonight for our inebriated enjoyment. All while Lucifer himself watches on and wishes it could be more tighter. A lot to blow your money on in the underworld. First up tonight, the stronger in terms of alcoholic content, but not as complex as our other offer in this episode, from what I understand. So we'll roll with it first. It's Paolozzi Helles Lager. Here we go. Look at that bad boy. It's a nice can, isn't it?
Big tin. A big tin.
Big kin. I'm going to be, unfortunately, passing on my belongings to my next of kin when I die from liver failure after this beer. So, yeah, Stu, you sampled these guys. Well, you sampled both these specific beers in the past. Are you looking forward to returning?
Yeah, I haven't tried the Cold Pride beer, but the
okay.
Paolozzi, I've had this on draft.
Yes.
And obviously for the tin as well. I'm trying to think of I've bought that bottled too. So and I've even had it straight for the tank at the brewery.
Beautiful, man. As you discussed last episode with your tour of the brewery. But yeah, so Cold Town was it the pale ale or the?
I tried their NEIPA and their summer pale ale. It was like a peach beer.
Oh yeah, brilliant, man, brilliant. Well, we'll see how these two compare to those ones that you mentioned. Let's crack this bad boy open. I'm ready, raring to go. Woo! Can't beat that tinny cracking open. The sound of that, beautiful.
Got the nice lager smell.
Yeah, it smells. It's got that classic kind of almost like corny kind of Helles smell to it, which I dig. Kind of like syrupy kind of corn smell to it, which is good. Candy corn, if you will. Looking forward to tucking into this, dude. Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. It's got
really nice
bitterness to it.
Bitterness to it, like a subtle bitterness to it.
Yeah.
But more kind of got that like sweet crispness to it that you expect from a beer with this ilk. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So yes, this is Paolozzi Helles Lager, standing at a filthy 5.2% from Edinburgh Beer Factory, based in Istanbul, obviously. Launched in 2015, their approach to brewing is inspired by Scottish pop artist Eduardo Paolozzi, who took everyday objects and transformed them into works of art. They take underrated beers and present them with some extra bells and whistles to Joe public. Edinburgh, historically the first city in the UK to brew lager, and these guys are carrying on that tradition. This bad boy that we're tasting tonight is their flagship brewski. They do an unfiltered version with extra pulp, untitled IPA, an IPA sitting at 5.5%, and an Edinburgh Stout if you fancy something a bit darker. So, topic 1 of tonight, it's Last Beers Watched. Woo! Stu, what have you been tucking into recently, apart from your trousers?
So I'm sorry to let you down, but I've drank nothing.
Oh my God, don't say this, because I haven't drank anything either.
Jesus Christ, there's
off to a good start.
Just hasn't happened.
Man.
I think even last night, when I was sitting researching for the second half of the show, I thought I should have a tin in my hand.
Of course, man. Of course.
I just couldn't find the strength to walk by in the kitchen.
Oh man, do you know what? It's disappointing. I'm the same. Unfortunately, it's the constant struggle of trying to find anything new to try. But yeah, it's been a very weak week for me this week. I need to find a new beer desperately.
Have you been buying any beer this week?
Yeah, I've nothing new to bring to the table, but in old beer news, one of my go-to beers is controversially now smaller. Yes, tins of Hobgoblin are now 440 instead of 500 ml.
Ah.
And it feels like the end of the world.
There's been a circumcision.
Really there's been a little bit of a chop. To be honest, dude, I don't know whether this is replacing the tall cans or taller cans or what, because having a sniff around, they both seem to be available in either size. What's happening? What is happening? I don't know, dude. It's a bit of an odd one. But, you know, a 4-pack was a tad cheaper than usual. And I didn't feel quite as dusty the next morning. So swings and roundabouts, I suppose. But so this is your kind of comeback beer after you're cold. Yeah. What are you planning to do from here, Stu? Now that you're getting better, you're on the mend. What's happening?
I have been buying plenty of beer this week.
Let's do a last beers bought then. That'd be better, seeing as we both messed up.
For things I look forward to trying in the future, there's still like the other end of like an Aldi Scottish beer festival going on. Looks like they didn't shift as much tins as they anticipated, so a lot of reduced stock going on. Yeah. And it seems to differ from shop to shop. Thankfully, with my job, I could help 3 different Aldis in a day and see the differences. No, not in a day, that's crazy, but in the week.
Check the stock levels
throughout
the week.
So, like Cold Town Beer, for instance, they had a different style of beer in each store. So one store had their wheat beer, hopped up on wheat, and they called it cold rich beer, and that was a chocolate cake stout.
Interesting.
Yeah, and obviously the Proud as Hell was the one that was in my local. So
yeah, I think I'd read about that one earlier. It sounds like a bit of an interesting one. I don't think it was available on the website from what I remember seeing. So I think maybe there's a bit of a
summer, but
maybe they've like shot them all out to the shops for the sale. Yeah, and now they've got nothing left to sell for themselves. Good business model, guys. Good business model.
So I've been seeing plenty of beer I want to try. Even like now, all the Christmas beers rolling out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I haven't seen any just myself, but I've seen a lot of. Well, you sent me a lot, and I've seen kind of a few adverts here and there for Christmas brewskis, a few pics on the internet. So I'm hoping to come across some soon. I really wish I remember the name of the one I had on draft a couple of years ago. I had it in a Wetherspoons. It was like a guest cask ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like really nice. It was like kind of Christmas puddingy. It was like cakey, raisiny, but syrupy. It was really, really good. But I just can't remember the name of it. Like, I just can't. I've done the research, and it's coming up with nothing. So hopefully, it'd be nice to check the pubs out again over the festive season and see what they're packing. Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty tall boy to down. So I'm gonna have a little bit more and discuss it a little bit further. Is there anything you'd like to say, Stu? Oh, you're still on mute, dude. Whoops.
Whoops.
Oh boy, yeah.
No, it is just a highly easy drinking lager.
It is. It really is. Yeah, it's very nice. I think
And
what's striking more is the crispness,
yes.
the crisp and smoothness, double combo. That's really working for me now. But it's very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Right. Shall we just crack on with the second one then? Yeah. we can come back to this one at the end of the show. So our second beer of tonight is Proud as Helles Cold Pride Beer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well. This one is slightly less
5.1.
Slightly less, yeah, strong as the previous one, but apparently it's a bit more flavoursome from what I've read. So I thought we'd do this one second on our billing.
You get any notes?
I'm getting like a milky note. Is that is that normal or?
I'm not getting anything.
A bit more like a bit of a cakiness to it. Similar, very similar to the last one. That same kind of syrupy, corny kind of smell, but more of a cakey vibe, possibly. Looks a bit darker, does it? Possibly. Yeah, looks a little bit darker to me. Yeah, interesting. Right, let's do it, man. Cheers, bud.
Cheers. Oh, there is a distinct taste to it. Maybe you're right with cake.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of got the same flavor profile as a Paolozzi, but maybe a bit more kind of a cakey, like doughy taste to it.
I almost want to say marzipan, but
no, you bang on with that, dude. You bang on with that. Very interesting. So to inform the audience a little on this particular brew, this is Proud as Helles Cold Pride Beer from Cold Town Beer, their LGBTQ celebratory release. And just to let everyone know, if they were wondering, I myself am bisexual. It's cost me a fortune. Sitting at a full 5.1%. This is from Edinburgh-based company, another Edinburgh-based company tonight, who started out as a microbrewery in 2018. Its name comes from the famous Calton Hill Brewery in the small suburb of Coldtown, and Calton Hill could therefore be known as Cold Town Hill. So Bob's your uncle. You got a name for your brewery. They have, looking into their back catalogue, their own twist on a lot of the standards. But some interesting stuff I saw in their back catalogue would be cold fruity beer, a porn star martini ale.
Oh yeah,
You had that one?
No, I would like to try it though.
Pull the
just
trigger
to figure out what it's like.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to hear back on that one. Cold rich beer. I think this is the one you were talking about earlier, the chocolate cake stout.
Oh, it's like a purple. And that's it. I would quite like the design of their labels.
Designs are cool.
Simple, maybe like 3 bar colors.
Yeah.
And then it's just like 3-word titles. It's almost like little beer haikus.
Yeah, simple and effective, I would say, for sure. The other one I come across was Cold Jammy Beer, the meringue-inspired queen of puddings. So, yeah, that one sounds interesting. I mean, not really kind of my thing, but at least they're experimenting and coming up with some interesting stuff. So, while we enjoy this beer, we have a very special topic lined up. And I'm going to pass the mic to my brother Stu to fill you guys in with what we're exactly covering. Stu.
Okay. Did you send me notes? I'll just wing it.
There's no notes. No, we're talking about Sud Sensei's, yeah.
No. So yes, over on the Lagerlog's Twitter account, obviously, a very perplexing image was shared by Amazon Prime, and they were advertising a new show, like a bake-off style show, but purely based around brewing beer, home brewers from across Europe. I mean, this is not just up and down the country. This is Europe.
Europe, which we're no longer in, sadly. So I'm glad they made it, when they did.
Yeah. So it's been a little bit more expensive for them, having to bring beer back and forth into the country. But these 5 teams of brewers come together in a show hosted by Jaeger Wise and James Blunt.
Jaeger Bomb Wise and James Blunt. And she's explosive, let me tell you that. No, sorry, Stu, go on.
Yeah, but it's like one of the things that's most random. Like you're checking to make sure it's not the 1st of April.
Yeah, it seems a bit too good to be true.
James Blunt's hosting a TV show about competitive beer making.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. It's definitely an interesting choice.
If you were doing like a family fortunes of who's hosting like the home brewing beer show, and you're like Al Murray.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
yeah, of course. I didn't even think about that.
No, it's You're Beautiful. Like that
guy. Thank you. Yeah, it's a bit left field, isn't it? You know what I mean? A bit out of the blue, but it's interesting. I'm not saying it put me off, but it definitely made me think like, that's an interesting choice. Can he, as you were saying, he's known as a singer. Can he, host a TV program in general?
Just be the fact that I guess this can also enjoys a beer.
I think that's what it is. I think that's that was the criteria that he got the job on. So what you and me haven't been offered, I don't know. I have no idea. Bad choice, guys. Poor choice, I would say. But yeah, it's an odd lineup. But I think we both went into it with open minds, open hearts.
Yeah, and that's what we chose to do. We decided to kind of review or summarize the first episode.
Yeah,
for our listeners, if they wanted to try themselves, because this is it. They dropped it all at once. There's like 5 45-minute episodes on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, 45. Yeah, 5 45s, I think, dude. To be honest, but 45 minutes went by really fast. Like, I think these days sometimes with TV shows they can kind of linger a bit, and especially with like the Netflix stuff seems to be quite long, kind of ends up spinning its wheels a little bit. But I think with this one it went by really fast, and I like the format. I think it was a very good format, and I think it looks good. There's definitely some dough behind it. You know what I mean? It's definitely not done on the cheap. It's shot in widescreen. It looks really good. Yeah, and
it's one of these things where you can be hesitant because it's the formula. It's right. Let's get a subject, people that are good at the subject, and then put them in like an elimination style competition. I mean, I've seen the same setup, like where it's like 5 people at tables doing things, and it's like, oh, this week they're Lego masters, or
there's a lot, man.
Last week, like, oh, it's Bake Off and it's Caramel Week, and now is it the same set and they're just revolving? So okay, right, pushing these in. Right, this week is beer, and just 5 brewers head to head, and the oddest thing out of this one is that right, 5 episodes. We're getting used to make beer. We're not going to eliminate anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as kind of cruel. It doesn't seem as gimmicky maybe
Yeah.
as other shows, which I kind
So
of like. I think it works in its favour. I think I
aye.
said as well that it's shot in widescreen, like it's a big thing. I've clearly been watching too much Dad's Army. What I meant was that it had like a filmic kind of quality to it. It's definitely not done on the cheap. It's quite an elegant looking program. Yeah, and as Stu mentioned, it seems to be not really focusing in on the gimmicks, but more focusing on the people that are doing it and the beer, which I think is the best thing.
And that's it. I mean, the subject for the first episode was to create an easy drinking beer.
Yeah, the challenge itself was quite intriguing. I thought
Aye.
definitely the kind of the setup that they gave them, or the things that they had to hit to achieve
Aye, it was like certain
challenge.
ABVs and
Yeah,
something easy drinking. And on the top of my head, I was thinking, right, well, you'd be going like lager, pilsner,
yeah, of
stuff
course. Yeah,
like soft, light to drink. And when you start getting these, now let's see, you had two guys from France, guys from Belgium,
yep,
two old boys from England,
yep. Come on, lads.
a couple of lassies from, like I think they the
Like
French?
Netherlands.
Never.
I think two French dudes. The girls are from the Netherlands, and then a couple from Italy, if I
Yes.
remember.
So
So
and
it's interesting to see like the different takes. Well, obviously them all being from different countries. It wasn't just your kind of traditional. It was stuff that was, especially with like the Belgium stuff and stuff that is not too common over here. Might
yeah,
be well known to your kind of connoisseurs, but was probably opening a lot of people's eyes to the different beers that we get kind of around the world, which was good.
yeah, and they went out there with some,
Oh, the
well,
combos, dude.
some
Yeah, they're
yeah.
crazy.
My God, it was like black IPAs and
Did you not get the memo of what you were trying to do with some of
there
them?
was
That's what I thought.
one group wanting to do that like a wheat stouts, and it was like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
that
two
started.
very
Yeah, like that started churning my belly a little bit when I was thinking about that. Two very kind of dissonant
light and
beers.
dark.
It
It's
was
like,
weird, man.
pour it together and make a smooth drink.
Mm.
But no, I was one of these ones where this is pretty cool. When you've gotten past James Blunt's little English accent, you're fine. Like I would
Speaks like the
just,
Queen, doesn't he? That guy.
yeah, it's
I
like
didn't even know.
cheerio.
I had no idea. I had no idea. He does all right. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think that you expect with this kind of show to be like the ones that you mentioned, like Lego Masters and British Bake Off, Great British
Yeah,
Bake Off, that there'd be a bit of comedy relief, but there wasn't really.
a lot of
I
straight to the
think,
point.
yeah, I think Jim was trying a little bit, but I think that made it seem a bit stuffy in comparison to those other shows. That it took itself quite seriously, but I think in the end that kind of sincerity pulled it through a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit too straight laced, but it was fun, definitely.
Then like the second half, once they'd made their beers, they were then given like a quick technical challenge to create the labels
Yeah, yeah,
and
I
like
didn't see
something.
that coming at all, man. It was really good.
Aye, and it was cool just having them put together with like graphic designers to quickly make something eye catching. And yeah, and then who was the guy? Because they spoke of introducing familiar faces or celebrities for kind of the roundup at the end,
Mm.
come around and taste the beer. And also, it was some guy who'd. This is where like notes would have been handy. I should have
No,
like sat there with a clipboard, but this was a guy that's obviously been. It's not royalty, but he's. It looks like a guy that
he was. I think he was. Was he a
he had
brewer
like
or
an
he was?
MBE or
Yeah,
something.
an MBE. So I don't know what the situation was with him. Maybe I should have listened a bit clearly
Yeah.
or clearer to what they were saying. But he was funny because I think he didn't really speak in technical terms. He just came for like the free
Don't know
beer.
where that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and he was just trying. He was like, "Yeah, it's good. Nah, that's shit.
like what
This is
the
all
kids is
right.
like, what's your history with beer? Oh, yeah, it's
I
just
drink
sort
it."
of down the pub, just something nice, easy. What style do you like? Lager. It's like
Maybe we
okay,
could have
right.
got a job on it after all.
Here's the wheat stout. Tell us what you think. and you can see that I'm profusely sweating.
Yeah, it was good. I think the only thing, well, I think in general it was a good intro for people who are new to the world of beer because it had some, well, a lot of like kind of basic setup with the beer ingredients and
Aye.
how it was made. The other thing I noticed though was they didn't describe the beer types, and I thought that would have been more helpful for people who weren't familiar with them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was dropping a lot of different styles, and I think for you and me, or anybody who's familiar with beer, would have kind of known. Okay, that's strange to put those two together. But I think that anybody else, if you weren't, or just kind of your average viewer who's not familiar with beer, would have thought, or wouldn't even think that those two were kind of not going to go. Well, the two that they were putting together was not going to go together, and I think it probably created more drama for us, but less drama for them. Do you know what I mean? Because we're thinking like, what? Those two ain't going to go together.
No, definitely. And yeah, it's a quick 45 minutes.
100%. Yeah.
It's almost like when they're reviewing the beers at the end. Between, I think they had like their guest brewer, who I think it was somebody from Camden.
Yeah, Camden. Yeah.
And then obviously you had your female host, Jaeger.
Jaeger.
Then James Blunt, and then the dude that's got the MBE.
Yeah.
So it's right, 4 opinions, and obviously Jaeger's like they've got the fancy term like not, I was going to say associate, but that's
I did see that.
Paraphrase the sound
like
of the word.
Yeah,
It's like a Michelin star for drinking beer.
It's like a sexy word for brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like she's got qualifications to brew beer and when it comes to beer tasting. So she knows what she's talking about when it says, "Oh, this is rank."
Yeah, that was funny. That was. Yeah. I like that when she
something's not clean.
Knew. Yeah, she knew that one was a bit smelly. But yeah, I think it was a good mix of people, good mix in terms of like the hosts and the people who were entering the competition. I like the format. As you were saying, it was quite a quick watch. So again, 5 episodes, probably just blast through them, and
I ended up watching 2 last night.
Oh, okay.
I just watched the follow-up one to it as well, and they were tasked with having to make treble beers.
Oh, the Belgium, the triple.
I triple the ingredients to make a high, I think 7 to 9 ABV beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt sorry for those gals who made the beer and it ended up being like 7.5% or something.
High. And they was like, "Oh, this is actually really good." No wonder. Got an extra 3% on it.
Yeah, they were pissed at that point. So
that's why it tastes better than the rest.
yeah, of course. But no, I definitely recommend it. Whether you're new to beer or you're familiar with beer.
It gives you a light education on it.
It definitely has elements of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it'll be interesting to kind of see what other brewers they kind of get in touch with. Because I've forgotten who they spoke with in the second episode, but it's easy watching. James Blunt isn't as bad as he sounds. Where you think, oh, James Blunt, and you just have like this known perception of, oh, the cunt that sings the cheesy music. He's going to say every fucking beer's beautiful, isn't he?
Yeah, he's singing like a he seemed like a nice chap, but he did a pretty decent job. And I think it's probably good for him that he's got like 3 other people, not hosting, but kind of co-hosting, especially during the tasting and stuff. So
because I feel it's not his natural environment.
Yeah.
The kind that
like
you'll not see him hosting the next season of like British Bake Off. Like there's like a certain style of person that needs to be comfortable, comedic, things like that. He's good. He's intelligent and can be funny, but it's a strong supporting cast around him.
Yeah, definitely, man. It strikes me as a show that's like finding its feet still. I mean, it's first season, and I only watched the first episode, so I would think as it progresses, probably gets a bit more comfortable in the role. And from there, if there are other seasons, I'm sure they'll kind of be Bit better, bit smoother, most probably.
Yeah, I'll be interested to know if it was made exclusive.
Exclusively for Amazon or not?
Yeah, if it was made exclusively
Interesting,
for like
yeah.
Prime. Because just having a 45-minute, like you feel like that type of episode length is usually made to leave space for adverts, so you get like that nice round
You're
hour.
right. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was something that was made for TV and wasn't picked up. I could definitely see this on what's the fancy Sky channel? Not Sky Atlantic, the other one, Sky Arts.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
aye.
definitely it's got Sky
Oh,
Arts written all over it, dude. I'm curious as to when it was filmed, whether it was kind of like balls deep in the pandemic or just
yeah.
after or not.
It
I'm assuming that it
had
was
to
shot
have
like a bit
been.
ago.
It must have been this year. I feel because
Mm.
I feel like it's only in like the last 6 months that things have started to ease off. Even
Yeah,
over like
yeah.
this is a kind of a time consuming show as well because right, they get their challenge, they're going to make beer. Now they need about 3 or 4 weeks to make the fucking thing. This is not Bake Off where they've got 5 hours to do the technical. You've
It's
got
true, man. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, but
like
I
this
think
made over the course of 6 months. Like think 5 episodes, 5 different brewing times, and then kind of all the carry on of going from your country.
yeah,
Where like this sounds like a really expensive show.
it definitely does, and it looks like one as well. And it must have been a bitch to coordinate everyone
Mhm.
together. But yeah, I think overall it's it's well made. It's slick without being kind of too flashy, too kind of ADHD, which I feel like a lot of
Too much jump
pro
cuts.
there's yeah like a lot of programs of its ilk these days seem to be really fast, like, and really you can't even like get into it. But I think with this one it was
Yeah.
quite slow and quite absorbing. I think it worked. As I say, yeah, not a lot of it. It definitely was maybe take itself a bit too seriously, but I feel like it's probably something that
They might ease off.
yeah, they might ease off and it might kind of chill out during the run of the season. So fingers
Mhm.
crossed. But yeah, definitely a recommendation for me. I was pleasantly surprised.
Awesome.
Okay,
Now that
so
that is off our chest.
yes, I feel so much lighter now.
Mhm. Final
Where,
thoughts on the beer?
yeah, I've got a few. Where would this sit in your Hellas ranking of the ones that you've tried? Any that spring to mind that are better or worse, or ones that
I feel
ones
I've
that were
made
notable?
the Paolozzi Lager always kind of sits firmly at the top because before that I've never really found another Hell's Lager.
Mm.
So when Cold Town announced that they were doing that for the summer, that did pique my interest. I think I might have tried one from Stuart Brewing.
Ah, okay.
I'm not sure if it's like a Belgian Helles lager, but I've not had a lot, to be honest. The fact that I've had the this Edinburgh Beer Factory's version of it 4 or 5 times now, it easily kind of sits in the number one ranking for
That's
me.
great, dude. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I can see why it would, because it definitely seems like a kind of go-to beer for me, like reliable. Nothing too kind of surprising, just really solid for me. And I think comparing the two beers, I feel like the Cold Town beers, the Paradise has got a bit more flavor, but it just evaporates quicker.
Mhm.
Whereas the Paolozzi sits with you a little bit more. It's got a bit more flavor to it, a bit more
Yeah,
lingering
yeah.
flavor to it. I think there's something going on with the Cold Town beer flavor wise, and maybe if they pushed it a little bit further, you taste it. But I still can't quite make out what it is that's there. It's
Yeah.
a bit cakey, but I can't put my finger on it. There's something going on. But I would definitely I'd roll with the Paolozzi for certain.
Mhm.
I think for me, Hofmeister is still my favorite. That's
Oh
still
yeah.
kind of numero uno. And I can't remember that one from local brewery, Burning Soul, that I had a month ago or so now. But that one was probably the best
Was
draft
it
one.
wasn't like the Heaven and Hell is.
Possibly. That sounds right, to be honest,
Mhm.
dude. Yeah. That was probably the best draft one that I've had easily. That one was really, really good. So, but yeah, this is very close. This offering from Edinburgh Beer Factory. So, yeah, it's a recommendation from me for sure on this bad boy. Full-time beer. I still haven't worked out whether I like it or not, but it's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. I feel the Edinburgh Beer Factory's Paolozzi Lager is like a reoccurring or a repeat offender you'll find in Aldi's.
Yeah.
Whether it's the craft season or not, there's always normally these tall tins showing up there.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's good that it's something that you can always kind of you can get to, just readily available. That's lovely to hear. So, yes, sadly, that's a wrap on another season of the Lager Logs. And are you crying?
It's like we've only just gotten started.
Yeah. It does feel like that a little bit. Without the warming glow of the show to bask in, it's going to be a cold winter for most. So to keep you guys warm, me and Stu are taking some initiative. And while the Logs is off air, we're offering exclusive home visit undercover spooning services to you guys in the most affected areas of the world, like Alaska, Siberia, Bradford. It's cost a bomb to set up, but you got to put in to get out, you know. We promise not to, though. It's at the Lager Logs. To find us on the social medias. They're going to be alive and kicking as they always are in between seasons. Nothing to fear on that front. Don't forget.
When I get my appetite back, there will be your pictures.
He's going to come back strong, this man. So tune in for the beer picks when they land. Don't forget to join us in a month or so as we'll be blessing your ears with some festive tomfoolery. There'll be some stewfoolery too. When we drop our Lager Yule Logs Christmas special. Very well, please. It's going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be a good one. We've got some great stuff lined up for that episode, so make sure to tune in. Stu, any parting remarks? Last episode, how you feeling? What's going on? Let's have a little check-in.
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's just it's been a quick season. I think we've shortened our episode count, but I think we've kind of done nice with eight episodes.
Yeah, definitely.
6 brewery focused pods, and then these last 2 where it's just me and you picking beers.
Yeah, we've kind of had a couple of face-offs, which we never really meant to do, but has kind of happened subconsciously, which has been great. It's been nice to kind of pit them against each other, the different types, and kind of see who comes out on top, which has been lovely. But it's been a strong semester, and we can only pray we've aced year 3 of Ale Academy, passed with flying colours, and hopefully made the grade. In an ideal world, we'd like to see enough A's to make Fonzie weep. No, it's a fail. It's a fail. Okay, screw it. It's been such a blast. I'm ready to do it all over again. Viva Logs! For the last time this season. Bon voyage, Booze Hound. Say goodbye, Stu.
Auf Wiedersehen, Stuart.
Did you say goodbye to yourself? You're supposed to say goodbye to the people listening.
You always say goodbye, Stuart. Say goodbye, Stuart. I went for a German twist. The hell is with you, Tom. The hell is.
It's all making sense now. Too sharp. Bye. Whatever is going down,